Before we start with the questions, if you did not receive a ballot on your way in, there will be volunteers with ballots as you exit. Please grab one. This bill is eligible for the Audience Choice Award. Now I'm sure you have plenty of questions. Right there.
I just have one question. First, to start off and say thank you for the inspiring, informative movie. But also, I was wondering if you had more communication with her since you finished filming, whether you found an artist and a man with a broken spirit, because that's kind of the most horrifying result that you can see.
So the question, in case you didn't hear it, was have you had further communication with Wei Wei? And if you could give us an update on how his spirit is holding up.
Sure. Well, his detention all happened during post-production. Of course, then went back into production again. So I was in New York the day he was released. The craziest thing I think about the whole story is that, I talked to him on the phone, maybe around the time that the footage that you see, maybe within an hour or so. I found out that he was being released on Twitter. There started to be rumors before, it was actually confirmed. And people started to say that they were texting with him and that he texted back. And then someone said he called and that Wei Wei picked up. So I just think the craziest thing is that I was able to call him on his same cell phone number and he picked up. And the whole time I've known him, he's had the same cell phone. So I thought that was really crazy. But, for me, seeing the footage of him coming back, the question is, you see that they have taken a big blow. They played their trump card, but what do you think is going to happen next? And that's the question that I have for everyone who sees the film. I've been in touch with him since then. I went back to Beijing as well. I think he's still very much processing everything that happened and trying to figure out how he can maneuver given these sort of new set of circumstances and restrictions. And he's very much returning to art, returning to speaking out. I think serving him that tax bill made him a little bit angry. And I think, he's sort of coming out again, but it's different than it was before. And I think that is the question, or one of the big questions of the film, relating to Ai Weiwei is what you think is going to happen next. Clearly, they dealt a strong hand, but everything you've seen in the last 90 minutes, what do you think the future holds for Ai Weiwei?
Right here.
Hi, it was amazing. I spent a lot of time in China. So I came in very, very curious as to how on earth you possibly could have filmed this. And so while I was watching, I was asking myself questions about how were you getting the close-ups on what was going on. They obviously maybe didn't see the people back there, because how did you not get stopped, first of all, from filming what was going on? And second of all, how did you transmit that or save that? How did you get that back to the U.S.?
So the question was, in this situation, how did she get such coverage and video of him, and how did she actually get that out of the country and bring that back here?
Sure, it's a great question. Well, one thing, I basically shot all the verite stuff as a one-woman crew. And I think that helps a lot to have him on a lavalier mic if he's willing to do it that day. And then I got a sound man walking around picking up sound. It was almost, I don't think it was ever the case that it was just me and him traveling. He's always got an entourage. He's probably got other people with cameras. There was the one trip where Evan was there. Maybe I'm the only person with them that's not Chinese. But I think the main goal is just to stay under the radar. And I just think that nobody really had a sense. The same reason that Wei Wei gets away with filming things, I don't know that anybody had a sense that, you guys would be seeing this right now. I really think that's it. And I had a moment today just looking around the audience being like, I can't believe, this many people are here to see this. And I think it's a little bit, you staying off the radar and maybe a little bit of a lack of imagination of what the power of these images could be.
Gentleman right there.
Okay, this may be a totally stupid question, but the sunflower seed exhibition, I saw them painting the seeds. Were all those seeds manufactured and hand-painted?
So the question was sunflower seeds. Were all those sunflower seeds manufactured and hand-painted?
They were. They were made in Jingdezhen in Jiangxi province, which is basically like the emperor's kilns. You know, that is where, you know, imperial porcelain was made. They have very special clay in the ground and a long, long tradition of artisans who work in porcelain. I don't think anybody ever would have thought to make porcelain sunflower seeds. There's pretty much no reason for it. Sunflower seeds are cheap and they are abundant in China, but again, that was kind of part of the point. And yeah, they basically, worked until, you know, that was as many as they could make, and they filled the turbine hall with them.
And then just another real quick, in the picture when the Shanghai studio is being demolished, and there was pictures, people were holding up pictures of him, and there was another, was that another picture of him, or who was that person next to him? Were there two faces on these posters? They were on the
That was the musician, the rock musician, who tells the story about the night when Wei Wei was beaten up. The guy who leans in real close, he's always wearing a hat. He's just a good friend of Wei Wei's. He was part of the avant-garde art scene in the 90s and kind of a cult rock figure. He writes a lot of the music for Wei Wei's documentaries. And because he was also there that night when the police came to the hotel room, I think he was very affected by it. And so they just made those posters, and he has fans as well.
Right here.
I'm just wondering, how did you get access to
Question. Sorry, the question was, how did she get access to Ai Weiwei?
So I moved to China in 2006 after I graduated from college for basically no good reason, but I highly, advocate for doing things like that. And I ended up staying, and I really did have a goal to maybe make a film, maybe do journalism. And in 2008, my roommate in Beijing, who's a Chinese American, was curating a show of Wei Wei's photographs. Those photographs he saw for the decade he spent in New York. And she'd been working on it for months. And I saw these, contact sheets around the house. And it's a great entry point, I think, for someone like me. Maybe didn't know that much about him, but you see it in New York, and basically every major Chinese cultural figure, in their youth hanging out in New York. And she asked me if I wanted to do a video for the gallery because she thought it was a great story, and they really didn't have any coverage for that. And I had the time and was underemployed and had just bought a camera, and that's really how it happened. And that's how we met, and I made that, and he liked it, and things kind of progressed from there.
Sorry, just right here.
Here at Sundance, documentary filmmakers have always been one of the primary focuses of the programming. In this documentary, it ends sort of with him challenging every artist has to defend freedom of expression. This is your work, but I would like to know how, in addition to this film, that challenge is heard by you as a documentary or as an artist.
So the question was about artists taking up the challenge to,
How, in addition to the work, that challenge affects her in what she will do.
So taking up the challenge that he gives and how that has affected her as a filmmaker.
Well, I definitely think that my biggest contribution to start is the film, and I've been really pleased that this is our second screening, and I just felt like so many people came up after the first screening, and the takeaway message was very much one of inspiration and about, and feeling implicated too, which is kind of what I wanted to do, and I think that's what, Wei Wei, I know that's what Wei Wei thinks the power of this film can be as well, is, not just raising his profile, but to understand the power of the individual voice. And, we do have an active online campaign, and you'll get some things when you walk out of here as well from our amazing volunteers who are waiting outside.
Question right here.
So, Ai Weiwei distributes online. How will you distribute this, and will Chinese people get to see this documentary?
So the question was about distribution. How do you plan to distribute this, and if there's anything in the works?
Sure. Well, I definitely know that this is, I feel it's a film of global importance, so it's not really just about distribution here, or it's not really about distribution. It's important to think about the online experience as well. I think that is the question was the answer for how people are going to skate in China. I would have to say, I know that his fans on Twitter have known about this film. They, a lot of people I do think know me by name, and we've been shooting together for a while. However that gets out, he has figured out a pretty good way to get things out in terms of downloading, because you really can't stream, and it wouldn't really work that way. They take it down, or the internet's too slow. And, he kind of has his own ways. I'm really interested and hopeful about Hong Kong and Taiwan, though. I do think there may be possibilities for real public screenings, and people would have to invite us and embrace us, and then we would gladly do it.
In the center back.
Two things. One is that the first time I saw your clip at Doc NYC, I think people here would be very interested in knowing that you actually taught yourself Chinese, which blew me away. And the second thing is, as a filmmaker, I just really love you make the choice of using the cat at the very beginning and then consistently through the film, and I wanted to know what it represented for you.
So in case you didn't hear, the choice of the cat, using the beginning and consistently through the film.
And then she taught herself Chinese.
And that she did teach herself.
Again, I'm a big advocate of, traveling, learning new languages, and Chinese actually speaking, it's actually not that impenetrable. You just get the tones down and then hang out there for a while. I'm a really big proponent. But the cat, this film went through so many openings and endings because the story was shifting, cataclysmically shifting throughout the editorial process. But once, I was able to really take the time to figure out what was important, how we were dealing with the detention, and where, and whether it was going to be teased in the beginning or not, and all those things. I really felt the important thing was to have a moment and just meet Wei Wei as a person, and also as an artist, because I think everyone, may be expecting the politics and that has to build. You have to see this really is an evolution. He didn't come out made as we know him now. And if you've ever been, you just walk into Wei Wei's studio and you can't not be thinking about cats because they are just everywhere. And when he talk about them too, and to hear that story, it just popped out, because it really does feel like the thing about Wei Wei is that it's both that he represents, or what he stands for a lot of people. It's not just him, that there's a diversity of opinions in China, and that there are many people that have different ideas, and there are many who are like-minded with Wei Wei, but also he is a unique case. So it's sort of the idea of the one cat who can open doors. He is a unique case.
The red shirt in the back.
What was the song about?
So the question was, what was the song about?
So this was a little one step too hard for us to just kind of explain in the film, because there's puns in Chinese, and so you kind of need a translation and another translation. So we just kind of left it for people who know, but I'm happy to tell you. The video he did for the 60th anniversary, that was during the Munich hospital scene, where they all say, they are all cursing, the motherland, but what's written up actually does not say fucking motherland. What it actually says is grass, mud, horse, motherland. Because those three characters, grass, mud, horse, and there's a New York Times piece about this, so many of you may already know, but those three characters, they just say grass, mud, horse, but when you say them out loud, it sounds exactly the same as fuck your mother, right? So, so that was one extra level, and the song at the end is this sort of internet meme in China that's been very popular the last maybe 2 years or something like that. It's a whole allegory, it's a whole song about the grass mud horse who lives on the plain, and he has his friend, the river crab from the party, right? The words themselves, if you read the subtitles, are like a children's tale, but when you hear it out loud, it's really filthy. So that's the song. And he put it up online really just maybe a month ago or a month and a half ago, really for his fans. And also, I've never heard him sing it, I think, so I really wanted to put it in.
Was that the big white book he was holding in
He
his
was holding up an iPad. I think
an
he was
iPad.
following along
Like
a GTV.
like a little red book?
Yeah.
Gentleman right here.
Yeah, Yeah, happy New Year,
All right.
everyone.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Has he ever expressed any interest or desire to leave China again?
Has Wei Wei expressed any interest in leaving China?
Well, I think right now he would just very much like the opportunity or the choice to come and go. And if
There's a difference
the,
between
if the authorities keep their word, then I guess it should be June 22nd, 2012. He'll be able to leave, and I know he has shows scheduled around the world coming up, and he'll be in the States, he'll be in DC. I mean, so I think he is going to leave to travel. I don't know what his long-term plan would be. I think that's another one of those questions that you can just kind of all decide what do you think from the film. I don't know that he knows the answer to that either.
Okay, we have time for one more question, right back there.
Can you talk a little bit about how he has so many Twitter followers in China, considering Twitter is blocked in China? Also, do you fear to go back to China after this movie?
So the question was how he has so many Twitter followers in China, being that Twitter is banned in China, and do you have any fears of going back there?
So it's very easy to get over the firewall in China. You just use a VPN, that's the most common method, a virtual proxy network, a private network. You can go and access the internet essentially via a computer connection that's not located in mainland China. It's a matter of downloading a little bit of software. There's free ones, there's paid ones. What it really takes is the will, or the idea that is something that you can do and that you want to do. Because for a lot of people, maybe there's nothing they need to read. I mean, it may not even occur to people. So I really think it's a self-selecting group, but it's not difficult. And so that gives you an idea of who a lot of his mainland Chinese fans are. And I know there are a lot, and there may also be Chinese-speaking fans outside of mainland China. I don't really know exactly how it breaks down. And as for fearing going back, I would very much like to go back. I'm not afraid of it. I just hope that I'm able to. And I think this isn't an anti-China film, and it's not. It's a very positive message about a Chinese artist who inspires audiences around the world. So I'm hoping I won't have a problem.
Well, thank you, Allison, for being